Thompson for Pollie-Watch at Southbank. We'll see if any of the Q&A panelists emerge this evening. You look like you might be Ukraine supporters.
We are you? What gave it away?
Look, I was watching at home. Can I just ask, was there any mention of the performance of the United Nations trophy?
No, not really. No.
Last Saturday, I went to a movie called Quo Vadis Ada. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's about the 1995 Srebrenica massacre at the UN facility that was there to protect the locals. And I was sitting watching the movie, and it was absolutely harrowing to watch what happened and what didn't happen.
Yeah, well,
and
welcome to our world.
It's happening again.
We're just
We're
being hung out to dry.
We're just watching our people just be just collateral damage.
Good evening, Bill Thompson for Pollie-Watch at Southbank. I came down to their ABC at Southbank this evening because I tuned in briefly to the Q&A program this evening. I did receive an email inviting me to submit a question, which on this occasion I didn't do because recently I did submit a question in relation to last week's program about anxiety and depression, and they didn't select the question to be broadcast. But the program this evening, the 20 minutes or so that I saw, was utterly fascinating. They were talking about the incursion of Russia into Ukraine, and Brendan O'Connor, who I've spoken to in the street a couple of times, pursuant to my Pollie-Watch YouTube clips, and Brendan apparently wasn't happy with my approach in the past, and he's actually blocked me on Twitter. Now, this is the calibre of leadership in their ABC, where they're one of their high flyers can't stand the heat generated by one old bloke with a GoPro. I had hoped that he would emerge from the front entrance of their ABC tonight, so I could say to him, "Bravo, Brendan, I agreed with your anti-Putin comments totally." But he didn't come out the front door. I did see from a distance what appeared to be a BMW stopped at the lights of Moore Street and Southbank Boulevard, just up there where the lights are. But I was reluctant to leave the front entrance in case some of the other guests emerged, but I'm fairly confident that if it was indeed a BMW, that it was probably a chauffeur-driven BMW, Commonwealth BMW, probably with Brendan ensconced comfortably in the front seat or in the back seat. I wonder whether he's one of Albo's fans that gets a junior staffer to open the door for him when he's getting into the chauffeur-driven Commonwealth limos. But these are the characters who bang on incessantly about the existential threat of climate change and CO2 emissions. There's a tram stop a few meters from the front entrance of their ABC, but Albo and I presume Brendan, some of these scumbag hypocrites who want to whinge about everyone else's CO2 emissions, but perfectly happy to swan about in chauffeur-driven Commonwealth limos, belching CO2 emissions, and presumably having flown into Melbourne. So they're just absolute, in my opinion, absolute hypocritical scum. But that could be a bit harsh. Anyway, I tried my best. Didn't get a chance to chat with anybody. Better luck next time. Hello, the security are stepping out. I don't know whether they saw the camera in operation and thought, no, we won't approach this guy if the camera's running. Anyway, I think I'll go home and take the rest of the night off. So far, none of them have emerged in a fashion that has allowed me to chat with anyone. I am hopeful that one of the attendant politicians might emerge, but we'll see what happens. They appear to be delaying his departure. Yes, let's escape out the back door. I just wanted to say bravo for the performance tonight on Q&A, mate.
Thank you very much.
I thought that was absolutely sensational. The security squad was hanging around. People, but the gentleman is getting into an SUV, and this particular gentleman, well, I won't show the number plate, but he did get into an SUV and drove away. There is a tram stop at the front door of their ABC studios, and that particular gentleman, I'll have to find out what his name is. I hadn't seen him before tonight on Q&A. I assume he's a Liberal politician, either state or federal. But he participated in some of the discussion that I found absolutely riveting, criticising Putin's invasion of Ukraine. But when the subject of the floods in northern New South Wales and southeastern Queensland came up, that individual expressed condolences for the people adversely affected, but started to bang on about climate change. And I criticise Labor hypocrites for banging on about climate change and then hopping into chauffeur-driven limousines, Commonwealth limousines. And when I find out that guy's name, I might even be perfectly happy to criticise him for his hypocrisy about banging on about climate change when he swans around in an SUV, presumably petrol or diesel powered. I could be wrong, but if I'm not wrong, I regard the bloke as another one of these absolute hypocrites for banging on about climate change. Everyone else can reduce their emissions, but not them. They'll just keep swanning around. Bill Thompson for Pollie-Watch at Southbank.